Hey ladies and gents, welcome to a brand new series called Killer Formations. This is where I identify a formation that kills another formation better than any other. The formation we're going to be looking to kill today is the 4-2-3-1. So which formation works best against this incredibly difficult formation to break down, especially with those two defensive midfielders and pivots? I'm playing a similar formation, a 4-5-1, but with a defensive midfielder, a central midfielder and an attacking midfielder. Also note that I use the possession based team style and really struggled in the first half, as you're going to see. I've sped this up to 4 times as this is far better for analysis, as it provides you with a better idea of the flow of the game, and you'll see throughout the match I try various methods of attacking: slow build up, quick tempo build up, counter attacking, long passes, and even try switching to an attacking strategy after 30 in-game minutes. As you can see, the Swiss have two central midfielders and their defence and midfield are so compact and close together, and I end up losing the ball so frequently in this area of the pitch during the first half before I make the switch at half time to the killer formation. But here it's a direct ball from defence into that midfield area and another direct ball into their forward line, into Shaqiri. He has some great feet here, look at this, weaving his way through my defence and curls a beautiful unstoppable shot into the corner of the net. And this is pretty much the flow of the game, you know, just losing the ball in that sort of final third so frequently. Look at their numbers, really hard, really struggling to break them down with this 4-5-1. You can see they're very direct in their attacks, long balls, direct passes. It was literally just get the ball, 1 or 2 passes, get it to the striker. Me, I tried slow build up, as you're going to see here, much more patient sort of build up, lose the ball, reset. And this is pretty much how it went. I started long balling, trying to get balls forward quickly, and that wasn't working either. I tried a long ball from the goalkeeper. Again, reverting back to my normal build-up speed. And at the 33rd minute, I switched to an attacking strategy. But again, this didn't really work either. Very similar sort of patterns to the play. Them being really direct. I tried everything. Quick counter. Had a good opportunity there. But then, towards the end of the first half, they get another chance where they possibly should have scored their second of the match. So just before half time, I create a half chance before the whistle's blown, and this is where I needed to make my changes. So you'll see here, I look at their formation and go, okay, I know what you're playing now. I'm going to change this up, and I actually move a few players around. What I do is I switch to a 3-6-1 with 2 defensive midfielders and 2 attacking midfielders. Just look at this from kickoff at how much pressure my team is now applying, still with the attacking strategy on, as my 2 defensive midfielders deal with their 2 pivots and they have nowhere really to go, and I'm able to pinch the ball to start my attack. Just look at how deep the entire Swiss team are now dropping since I made the change at half time, and even when they win the ball from me, they're really struggling to break out of their own half. I've pinned their team right back. I'm able to use that combination of quick passing to try and break them down now that I have that midfield dominance, and I can sense the chances are going to come. Even with Digne as a central defender, they're not causing me any issues when they have the ball. Then some lovely interchange of passes right through the middle allows me to cut through them and score. The pattern of play after this goal is much the same. Again, on the front foot, pushing them right back. They do have some opportunities where they sort of break out here and there, but generally it's much the same. Good pressure on their defence, forcing them to make a mistake. Again, I'm on the attack. I didn't really make the most use of the ball after that goal, really. I didn't play as well as perhaps I could have, as I was sort of giving the ball away cheaply, but you can see them, they're not really offering much of a threat anymore like they were in the first half, and it's much easier to get in and around them. I win the free kick, and then, you know, with this free kick technique that I've got now, it's pretty much unstoppable. I can't remember the last time I actually missed one of those. So from the 75th minute onwards, my play did get a little bit sloppy. I did give them some opportunities to break forward, but towards the end of this half, I'm like, okay, let's just do game management and keep the ball. But you can see here, they do have a few opportunities to get the ball forwards, but it's pretty easy defended with my defenders and tied it up. But here, just keeping the ball until the full-time whistle. 89th minute now. Any second, the whistle's going to be blown, and the W will be in the bag. So there we go, a 2-1 victory over Switzerland. It doesn't look the most impressive, but just remember I only had a half to use that formation tactic, and didn't play all that well from the 75th minute. But now let's take a look at another 4-5-1 formation, the 4-2-3-1 with 2 defensive midfielders, just to see how this compares. You're going to see a slightly different pattern to this match, where they didn't really offer as much a threat as Switzerland did going forward, perhaps because their double pivot was much deeper, so it was harder for them to sort of build their attacks, but they did sort of rely on the pace of their forwards. But in terms of actually trying to actually create chances myself, I found it very, very tricky. Their defensive midfielders kept cleaning up all the time. It's just something about this formation which I really struggle with. And you know, here they're just trying to break out, use their pace, use their sort of individual ability rather than play as a team, because their two defensive midfielders were so deep. Had a few opportunities to like really create something, but either my players were wandering offside, or you know, just the final ball wasn't quite right, or just getting the shot on target. They just had so many bodies in and around the penalty box that I just found it hard to, you know, create anything meaningful. So this is pretty much the pattern of the first half, just me just trying to break them down, them winning the ball in the final third, or the final pass not being good enough, and them just literally grabbing the ball, running with it as far as they possibly could, and then and try and create something. But they didn't really offer much of a threat. You know, they do have a lot of pace on the counter, so I had to be aware of that. I was, you know, making sure my defenders would drop right back, and just a free kick at the end of the half. And funny enough, as I was talking earlier about not missing those, I actually missed that one. So yeah, as you can see, half time, I'm like, right, you're playing the same formation with 2 defensive midfielders. I'm going to go with the 3-6-1 again and see just how all this does. Putting Thiago as a defensive midfielder and Kovacic and Goretzka alongside each other as my attacking midfielders. So if we just look at the change here, you'll notice that my attacking midfielders are then starting to join the attack. We're starting to piece things together in the penalty area. Just unlucky with the offside, but a long ball from their goalkeeper, and I'm able to get in between the lines. Look at this. Once you get in between those lines, my striker can hold up the ball, plays a beautiful ball over the top. Little cut back, hasn't got the room to shoot, passes it off, and then it's just a side-footed finish into the back of the net. And one of the things I would say about the 3-6-1 formation is you have to link in your midfield, your attacking midfielders, through your striker. You know, that's how and where you're going to get success with this formation. It's not as effective as it was in PES 20 and PES 2021, simply for the fact the way the game's designed now. It's easier to lose the ball, there's less space to sort of maneuver once you get into your opponent's half, so it's not as effective. I always found the players a little bit on the small side compared to the pitch in PES 2021, but here they feel just right. It just feels like you've got not a lot of room to operate when you get into their final third. I do work the ball quite nicely, but just trying to get that final ball just right didn't seem to come off in this second half, but the dominance was still there. I just had more players to aim at in the penalty box as my midfielders or attacking midfielders broke into the box. So I'll give you an example here of exactly what I'm talking about. So passing the ball through between the lines, quite a patient build up, the ball down the channel, and then you can see here attacking midfielders breaking into the box. Unlucky with that header to Kovacic not to finish. And here's just another example of the wide players having an impact as well. You know, they are an option if you need it, but just poor control here from Kubo allowed the defender to get back in and win the ball. One of the key ways to really kill this 4-5-1 or 4-2-3-1 formation is to switch it from one side to the other, because you're going to have a man over when you do this. Watch this here. Into my striker, a little back heel, into my attacking midfielder, and then into my wide player. And you're going to see this a lot. I should have mentioned it in the first game as well, because it was evident there as well. If you go back, just slow it down, you're going to see where I switch the ball from one side to the other, and I'm going to have that man over. I was a little unfortunate here not to intercept the goalie's pass through Kovacic, but it was my fault for not hitting the matchup button. I just didn't expect him to pass it through my player. They then have a quick counter-attack where I stupidly secondary press with Van Dijk, leaving my defence a little bit more exposed than normal, trying to win the ball back, but it actually leads to their best shot of the half. But it was a super comfortable save. It just shows you how difficult it was for my opponent to break out of his own half, I was able to get the win. Whilst not a convincing scoreline, it was a much improved performance which saw more possession, more shots, more pass accuracy in both of my matches. It's important to remember to enable that attacking strategy if you do use the 3-6-1. I would love to hear in the comments which formation you want to see killed next. I have another lined up following this one against the 3-2-3-2 formation. And before I go, I just want to give my channel supporters a shout out. Thank you Michael and Lan, it's greatly appreciated, along with every person who subscribes, likes, comments and even lurks on my videos. Until next time guys, take care, I'll see you soon, bye bye.